All right, should be popping up here in just a second. How's it going, everybody? It is the Osmo.com NHL DFS Strategy show, and we have a Big Ten gamer to talk about tonight. Uh, Hopefully, you got your NFL lineups in. If you did play today, got mine in. So, should be a pretty fun day, pretty fun weekend, and fun time of year. So, I think we'll go through everything 10 games. We'll recap last night, even though I don't really want to. It was a brutal night for me. Actually, I think maybe my worst night of the NHL season, and yeah, not enough Achari, I suppose, and I guess the Dallas side did okay too. But just some news and notes coming out of morning skate right now, and we'll get to those. Probably some more stuff popping up, so feel free to share it in chat if you guys are around and grinding the news. Flyers lines just came out. Okay, nothing weird there. But we'll go through everything and then see where we're at after that. I ran Crunch before the show, and looks, well, just based on the exposures, pricing is pretty soft once again today, which I think is the way I prefer it, but some people don't like soft pricing. Looks like a few of you are waiting to be filtered in here. Probably going to be a light crew anyways because NFL going on. People probably shopping for holidays. So most of you probably watching on delay. Anyways. Getzlaff is out. All right. That's all morning skate stuff. And let's talk about the main slate. After we go through the normal things, just drinking. Yeah, maybe they're just drinking. Line changes when they come out. Those are going to be free. Yeah, the stream lives. Hopefully, the stream cooperates for the duration. I'll be out of here before 2 Eastern. So, regardless whether or not the stream lives or dies, we'll be done before that. And then you guys can go on with your day, build your NHL lineups. Slack will still be around. We'll have hopefully get some line changes up. That'll be a free article for today. Fast Eddie Fears NBA rankings also free for today. So go check those out. NHL lineup builder. We'll start with the 7 p.m. games. We are presented by Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports. Lower management fees, less pros, weaker competition over on Yahoo. A great place to increase your ROI when you're playing DFS, especially compared to FanDuel and DraftKings. Been playing this $12. Didn't have any luck in that last night, so I donated all my entry fees over on Yahoo last night, but it's been going pretty well. And looking to continue to play some NHL over there. So hopefully you guys join me. NFL, the Saturday only locked, obviously. I really wouldn't have played Florida without Osmo yesterday. Thanks for that. Yeah. I didn't play enough of them, apparently. Full line stacks looked like they could have been the play. Hellebuck, I believe, is starting. But you'll know if Hellebuck goes at 1:30 Eastern time, so that's in 22 minutes. Yeah, so we love playing over on Yahoo. So come play. Use promo code OSMO to get up to $30 in Yahoo Sports rewards points when you first sign up. Last night, lineup study. Got the $10 open. You won't see me anywhere near the top. I mean, it was a brutal night. I think I zeroed out in the 33 as well. It was bad. But Bolts 1282 took it down with a 5-3 stack. Your 4-man, 5-man with Samsonov. Just a 5-3-1 with Muzzin 1 off. Seems like a lineup that I could have ended up on pretty easily if I would have done all full stacks, but I ended up doing not all full stacks, so kind of hurt myself there. Carlson, Muzzin was a nice combo. Carlson, again, just continues to go nuts. Whenever Washington's putting up a couple goals, feels like not one time this year has he been left out. So nothing flashy in this lineup, and got it done. So really good, perfect correlation there. McDavid and Nugent Hopkins really sucked. Yep. The problem was Pitt 1 wasn't even bad. Brick, the Czech, bunch of good players up at the top. Let's check out what Brick did. Backstrom, Wilson, Ovi. So dual defenseman from Edmonton here for Brick. So nice work there. Bobrovsky, correlated goalie with his Florida 2 stack. All right, let's talk about the games. Hopefully this stream holds up. Going to go through news and notes and my exposures right now at the slate start. We don't have ownership, but that'll be out a little bit later. Nashville, Boston, 2.8 implied total for the Preds, 3.2 for the Bruins, Pekka Rinne and Yaroslav Halak in net. And no real changes here for the Boston side. However, Arvidsson looks like he's going to be back with Johansson and Yarncroc on the top line. And then I know it says fourth line for Forsberg and Bonino and Sissons, but Forsberg's obviously not a fourth line player, so I wouldn't put too much stock into that. There's not really anything I want to play on Nashville's side. Anyways, I'm more looking at the Boston side, specifically Boston 1. Shocking that someone would like Boston 1 here, I know, but yeah, that's kind of my only preferred play in this game. Boston 1 not quite at the top for me, and so they're probably going to get left off quite a bit of my lineups. That's okay. I prefer Colorado 1, and there's some other cheap stacks. If you like Boston 1, they're always fine for a single entry because they're just amazing. Wouldn't talk anyone off Boston 1 with the solid home total. It's not like you can't score at Nashville too. We just saw Ottawa put up 4 goals against them in the last game. I think kind of a brutal spot for Nashville, but Boston 1 always in play. Not really wild about Krug or McAvoy. Really only looking to play Yossi, but 7K price tag is kind of tough to swallow here. So even I am not getting to a lot of Yossi. There's a bunch of other guys that I have ahead of him, which I probably haven't said too much this season. Let's go to Detroit and Toronto. We've got a 2.6 implied total for the Red Wings, 3.9 for the Maple Leafs, Jonathan Bernier and Michael Hutchinson in net. Big totals here. Detroit's total might even be lower than this, and Toronto's might be higher, depending on where you look. But I think matchups here are going to be pretty clear. Toronto's been liking to match Tavares with opposing top competition. That would be Larkin and Mantha and Philip Zadina, who is going to get a shot on this top line, it appears, until Bertuzzi probably moves up there at some point. I think that's you're live for that, but Zadina's fine. 3,400. I don't think you need to leave him off. I don't think it matters at that price. He has his shot rates are decent as well. So even if he gets bumped off that line, you're not dead if you have Larkin and Mantha together with him. I love the Tavares Marner line. Again, everyone's going to be looking to play Toronto here. I expect them to be the chalkiest team, and I expect the Tavares line to be a little bit more popular than the Matthews line. And so I think I agree with that. Tavares Marner, I think I'm going to mix in some power play stacks. I kind of have this leak in my game where I don't do enough power play stacks in these great spots. And so I'm going to try to figure out a way to toss in some Toronto power play stacks. They're one of the teams I have listed here, just for teams that I think I should be power play stacking. And so Toronto, certainly that. A nice way to differentiate if you do something like Tavares, Marner, Matthews. I love 3-3 full line even strike stacks as much as the next guy, but when you got a team like Toronto and couldn't be a better spot at 5-on-5, but also the power play, I think it makes sense to get a little bit different with your Toronto stacks. And I rarely end up on the Matthews Nylander Kapanen line organically. So getting some exposure to Matthews, Nylander, Marner, Matthews, Nylander, Tavares, Marner, Matthews, with my forwards and adding in Tyson Barrie, I think is a pretty good way to go tonight with the biggest total on the slate. Yeah, let's speculate the Bertuzzi moves to line one, as he has been. Yeah, he has been. He was there last game. And so, who knows? With Detroit, it's Blashill. Like, Blashill is the worst. Suggest playing Kapanen or leaving him off. I mean, he's the guy you would leave off because it doesn't go as well. But he's 4,300. I think you can stack either of the top two lines at 5-on-5 or like 3-3. But kind of my preferred way to stack Toronto. And I think the majority of my exposure will be either Tavares, Marner, Hyman, or some combo of the four power play guys with Tyson Barrie. I don't really love Detroit 1 here, which maybe is surprising. Tavares line's been tough, and I know it's back-to-back. I know if Detroit scores, it's going to be them, but you would think it's going to be Larkin and Mantha, and it probably would be. But Toronto's not playing this super high-paced style this season. Like, I know they gave up a few goals last night, but going back home against Detroit, like, Tavares, Marner, Hyman have been solid at 5-on-5 as far as not allowing a ton of chances. And so I think I'm going to be pretty underweight on Detroit 1. I would expect them to be, kind of a popular filler stack with Zadina at 3,400. And so not the spot for me to go super heavy on Detroit 1. Philly, Ottawa, 3.2 implied total for the Flyers, 2.9 for the Sens, Brian Elliott and Marcus Hogberg in net. You guys are going to be shocked to know that I'm playing some Ottawa 1. I don't have a ton of notes for this game, actually. I don't think I have anything. But I do like Ottawa 1. Once again, just Kachuk and Pajot and Brown, they have these really good numbers. The only thing I'm worried about, and I'm not that worried about it, but I think they might see a decent chunk of time against Couturier, Giroux, and Konechny. If they're sharp, that's probably the line they should go up against, but they haven't really been hard matching in their last couple home games. And so maybe it is some time against Couturier, Giroux, and Konechny, but maybe they also see a decent amount of time against the Hayes line and maybe even the third line. So I think the ice time is going to be there for Ottawa 1. I don't think they're going to be popular, and so I'm probably 2 to 3x the field on them. I just love playing these lines that have great numbers, especially on home ice when it's a big slate and it's not like an optimal spot. I don't know if they're going to pop for a ton of people, but they certainly are for me and for us. I will play Kachuk and Peugeot at these prices together, top power play. Even though Philly doesn't create a ton of penalties, really, really prefer this line. Or you could go with Duclair, but he's getting up there at 5,200, honestly. Good spot to go heavier on Philadelphia 2. Hogberg going to get lit up sometime soon, I would think. I kind of missed out on the Van Riemsdyk game. He's still 4,300, so he makes a good play by himself. Hayes, Van Riemsdyk. You could go with them. I think they probably see less time against Peugeot and Kachuk, and that's kind of the line you want to avoid. The Tierney line I don't think is going to be any good defensively. Same with Anisimov. I don't think you need to worry too much there. But I'm not wild about Philadelphia here. Shabbat, 5,500 would be the defenseman I would prefer to play on Ottawa. He's not. I've got under 10% of him right now, and so it's a throw-in play if you're power play stacking or you're stacking that top line. And it looks like I'm gonna be pretty underweight on Philadelphia. I'm only getting a few Couturier shares and then not a lot of the Hayes line. but maybe it's because I'm projected too low on this guy, Nicholas A.K. We'll call him. Sanheim is 3K. You can play him at that price when he's playing a decent amount of minutes. And that's really all I got here. Ottawa won, baby. Feels like I'm always on them. Tonight's no different. Tampa, Washington, we have a 3.3 implied total for the Lightning, 3.3 for the Caps. Vasilevsky, Braden Holtby expected to go here. And by the way, if I'm missing something, feel free to toss it in chat. If I'm missing a piece of news or whatever, I tried to comb through everything I could find this morning, but and there might be stuff that's coming out as we're talking about it, so feel free to drop it in if you guys have anything for me. Caps played last night. They won 6-3 against New Jersey. Backstrom had a 4-point night. Washington won. You saw in the lineups on lineup study. They were in some of the winning lineups near the top. My favorite thing here, though, I think is Cirelli, Killorn, and Stamkos. They are who I think sees the most time against Kuznetsov and the Eller lines, and I think you can definitely get to them. Plus, you get Cirelli and Killorn and Stamkos on the top power play. I like Cirelli just as a player, and he's 4,300. So maybe that might be a little bit sneaky, even with the 3.3 implied total on the road. You know, people will play Point and Kucherov, and I did get to a little bit of them, but I think this game's going to be popular just because you've got two teams that everybody loves to play, and then good totals on both sides. Like, you still do have, like, Vasilevsky's one of the better goalies. Holtby has been playing okay. I don't know. I mean, I don't love the game, but I do really like the spot for Cirelli and Killorn and Stamkos. This line has really struggled giving up chances, and so that's the one I want to target, and I think they see the most time against them. So, Tampa 2, Tampa 1. Tampa 2 is my favorite, I should say. Tampa 1, not, I'll get to a couple shares out of my 150. But if they go off, I don't think I'm going to have a very good night. There's other lines that I much prefer. And same thing with the Caps 1. It's always tough to try to fade them. But they too, I think it's an okay spot. But I think there's some spots that are, way more than okay. And I think they're going to be owned like they're in, one of the best spots. Carlson at 6,600 is making me think, though, do I really want to play a ton of Carlson if I'm not playing a ton of Capitals? And so I'll try to mix in some Washington 1 plus Carlson stacks. You can make it work. It's not too restrictive tonight with the soft pricing. But yeah, not a priority play for me in this game. There's another game that's a lower total that I think I'm going to have a lot more of. Let's move it on. Florida, Carolina, 2.6 implied total for the Panthers, 3.3 for the Canes. Chris Driedger going up against Peter Mrazek. At least that's what we're expecting here. And let's see. Stahl, Svechnikov, Fogle expected to go up against probably the Barkov line. And then with all these balanced lines for Florida, like I said yesterday, it's hard to figure them out. I guess you just play a Chari and just wait for the 40 points on DK to pour in, right? But no, I think. Well, first of all, I definitely prefer the Carolina side. I don't know that I'm chasing much on Florida here. None of these lines, again, hard to figure out who actually the best line is. I know the Achari thing has been going on for a couple games, but who's to say that line's that much better than Barkov, Vetrano, and Connolly? They're probably better than the third line, but hard for me to kind of parse through Florida. So when I don't love the spot, and there's three lines that I think are you can make a case for, it probably means I'm going to have none of them, or very little of them as I'm scrolling through. I've got 200 lineups I crunched out. I didn't get to Man, I didn't get to anything, unless I'm just completely missing it. No, I didn't get to any Florida lines. No Trocheck, no Barkov either. Wow, and no Boyle. So it's going to be mostly Carolina for me here. Carolina 1, probably one of the best values on the entire slate. Let's see, they are 13K for them. Going to see a lot of ice time. Going to see top power play time with Stahl and Svechnikov there with Dougie. So, that's a pretty obvious 4-man. Those 3 on Carolina 1, the Stahl line plus Dougie for under 20K. Seems pretty good. But I'm going to try to get more overweight on the Aho, Teravainen, and Niederreiter line. I think you might even see them come in at lower ownership because of the price differential. But they're not going to be in a shutdown role. And I usually tend to gravitate to where Aho goes. So if you think you're going to be sneaky playing the Stahl line, I don't think that's going to be sneaky. I think they're going to be they might get up into like the 10% range, which is a lot for a filler stack. So this is one of those lines where I say it for a couple lines on these bigger slates, but just be aware of who you're stacking them with. Because if it fits like a glove with them, that probably means, a lot of people are going to have the combo if you're 3-3 stacking. So certainly could power play stack Carolina here, and they might actually be one that I should add to my list. Because there's 2 lines that you like, and then we're expecting Haula to return with Zingle and Netchus. I can't remember what we decided on the pronunciation there, but there's probably 3 lines in play here for Carolina. But my favorite is the Aho. It's the most expensive one, but it might be one that gets a little bit overlooked with the enormous value you're getting on Stahl and Svechnikov and Foegele. Man, am I really gonna fade this third Achari hat trick in a row? I think I am. Man, if he does it again, I mean, this guy, he's not gonna do it again, but if he does, that would be a pretty crazy story. It already is crazy to have 2 hat tricks in a row, no matter who you are, and for it to be Noel Achari, good for that guy. Hamilton, and this is the reason why I'm playing a lot of Carolina. One of the reasons, because I crunch out a lot of 4-3-1s. Hamilton's my favorite guy tonight at 6,900. Back up in net for Florida. Good total. He goes with both of the top 2 lines. He's the premier defenseman play for me tonight. I like him better than Carlson, just as a one-off, which might be somewhat of a hot take. I mean, I like Carlson too, but I'm gonna have more Dougie. He's gonna be probably my highest exposed player on the slate. Find it hard to believe that would change between now and lock. Something would have to drastically change. So, love Dougie. Just give me the guy that shoots a ton. I think outside of Carlson, he's got as much upside as anyone. But I think they're going to be close in ownership, to be honest. No real punt defenseman I'm looking at here. I always forget to mention those guys that are kind of popping up. Maybe Pesce at 3,500 actually. Although I didn't get to a bunch of them. Pesce, Slavin. Slavin's not even a punt. Carlson crushes TV often. Carlson crushes everyone this year. So he's probably got good player versus opponent stats against every team that he's played. Devils, Blue Jackets, 2.3 implied total for the Devils, 3.2 for the Blue Jackets. Is it going to be this backup for the Devils? I don't know if it's going to be Blackwood again. In fact, I don't think it is, but Korpisalo expected to go for the Blue Jackets. Blue Jackets did some swapping last game, but for the most part, the Jenner, Nyquist, Bjorkstrand line stuck together. I would expect them to stick together, and you can expect them to be in a lot of my lineups tonight. It feels like I don't see anything wrong with them, and they're fully correlated. It's a good matchup. So maybe tonight they have a little bit of increased ownership, but I feel like they've been under-owned the last few slates they've been on, and usually that's never the case when you got a value line. Like they were against Detroit the other night. I think they were like under 10% on a smaller slate. And I don't know. I think they're probably my favorite filler. Maybe I'm just reading this wrong, and maybe they're going to be the chalkiest filler. But Bjorkstrand's price has come up a little bit. You're paying almost, almost 16K for them. So a little bit more restrictive than what we've seen when they were all like under 5. But yeah, I love the way they've been playing. The numbers don't pop off the page for them, but it feels like they're just constantly creating scoring chances. Bjorkstrand shooting as much as basically anyone that's not like, Ovi type guys. I mean, he's earned the 6K price, I think. Devils PK stinks. I know Columbus isn't good on the power play, but give me some Columbus one. It just seems so obvious. Like if they come out and or the ownership projections come out on DK and they're like 6-7% again, then I'll just have a ton. If I'm wrong and they're gonna be 15 or something, then maybe I change my tune a bit. But right now they're one of my favorite stacks, even before you factor in price. So I'm all over Columbus once again. Devils, no thank you. Did I even get to anything here? Boy, I got to a couple Zajac shares, so there you go. They're dirt cheap. But the numbers I like to look at suggest that Columbus is one of the better teams defensively, especially when they're on home ice. I do factor that in. I don't know if you should or not, but I like to look at that because of how teams match sometimes. Gusev, I guess if I had any love for these guys, it would be Gusev at 3,700. Coleman's playing big minutes. Zajac plays big minutes. Maybe you get a full line goal out of them or something, and you play it like this would be a filler stack. You play with like a Boston 1 or a Colorado 1 or something like that, like a filler and really nothing more for New Jersey too. Jones and Werenski, both guys that you can always target. I've got more Werenski, but that's because you're seeing him on the top power play with the line that I prefer. Jones is just fine as well, but would be more of a one-off. I suppose you could play him with Columbus 1 because he's probably going to skate a good amount with them. I suppose you could do that, but prefer Werenski if I'm just being transparent here. And then Savard at 3K. It's always the same thing with Savard. If he's playing 20 minutes, if he's, he shoots a decent amount. He's a decent per 60 player, and it's a good matchup against the Devils. You wish he was getting power play time, but that's not going to be the case when Jones and Werenski are healthy. So, Atkinson is expected to miss this game too, I believe. I know the lineup sites haven't updated that, but I'm pretty sure I saw that earlier today. So confirm that, but I'm pretty sure that's a thing, that Atkinson is expected to be out. So that makes it really tough to want to play Wenberg or Foligno or any of these guys. I gotta send this message. Give me 15 seconds. All right. Texting my order for food after this, so trying to multitask. Okay. Montreal, Edmonton. Yeah, covered everything in that game. Montreal, Edmonton. 3 implied total for the Canadiens. 2.9 for the Oilers. Carey Price and Mikko Koskinen expected to go here. Smith went last night. lost. Chat amongst yourselves. Hit the like button. There we go. Yeah, thanks, Kellen. I know there's only a few of you watching this, but if you're watching on delay and you could hit the like, that would be much appreciated. It helps us continue to do this kind of thing for free. So thank you guys all for watching. Thanks to Yahoo for sponsoring, as always. Got to shout out Yahoo as much as possible. They really help make this happen. Okay. This game, I'm a little bit nervous for, seeing the Vegas stuff here, because we've got a 3 implied total for the Canadiens, 2.9 for the Oilers, and Price is in net. That's always scary for Montreal when stacking against Montreal. Say what you want about Price, whether he's overrated. I don't know. I don't really know what I think. I use him a lot for DFS, so maybe that makes me a fish, but not a guy I necessarily love stacking against. But we do have McDavid with Nugent Hopkins and Zach Kassian, and they stuck together last game for the whole game. So that's great to see. They didn't swap. They lost the game, so maybe it goes back to McDavid, Draisaitl, and Kassian. We're always live for that, especially on the back-to-back. Probably not going to get any news before skate or before pregame skate. Plus this game, well, it's a 7 Eastern, so maybe you would know. Eriksson in for Levo on a line with Horvat and Pearson. Okay, cool. So that is in a couple games from now. Edmonton won going to rebound. Yeah, they were fine last night. It's not like they're bad. Building is going to be a home game for Montreal. Yeah, I think it might be. So I like attacking this Edmonton game with the power play stack if you are going to the Oilers. So some combo of Draisaitl, Neal, McDavid, Nugent Hopkins. Considering making a rule for Edmonton to just say, basically key all the other power play guys and say, if we play this guy, you must play McDavid. So you can do that in Fantasy Cruncher if you guys have it. That's a pretty cool feature to make a group. So that's might be what I do, and just scrap the 5-on-5 lines. Because I don't love Draisaitl, Neal, and Gagne as a line, even though they probably project pretty well for some people. I like McDavid and Nugent Hopkins and Kassian as a line, but who knows if they're going to actually stick together. So I think the safest way, and probably the highest upside way as well, to stack Edmonton here and just for eternity while they are still in this system is probably to power play stack it and include at least McDavid or Draisaitl. It might happen once a season where Edmonton scores 5 goals and they don't have big performances, but just, I'll lose that one time and move on. I think if Edmonton scores a ton of goals here, or even 3-4 goals, they're going to get hot on the power play. Or it's going to be McDavid just doing McDavid things. Draisaitl by himself is not a preferred play for me usually. Goals being scored in the early slate, very good. But that doesn't really stop there for me. I love both of the Montreal top lines. The top 2 lines, Domi, Armia, and Lehkonen grades out as one of the best values on the slate. I think it will for a lot of people. I think you can probably even consider the third line going up against the awful Edmonton depth. But that's more of an aside. They're dirt cheap. I don't even know if you need to go that cheap with the soft pricing. Really want to figure out a way to get to a lot of Deneau, Tatar, and Gallagher. And Edmonton's not the worst defensive team, but we've seen top lines do well against them. Last night, Pittsburgh won. They're fantastic. And so maybe they're a little bit different, but hold on, let me check on this. Maybe Pittsburgh one's a little bit different, but I think Montreal one's one of the best lines. If you just look at just data on, scoring chance data, high danger chance data, they're awesome. So I think there's going to be a lot of back and forth here, and I'm hoping for a lot of goals. So just to sum it up, Montreal 1's kind of my preferred play. Montreal 2, I think, is the obvious optimizer play. Along with Carolina 1, they're going to be one of the better fill-in stacks. You could game stack this if you wanted to, but I think this might be my favorite game overall because of the variety of ways you can stack Edmonton, mostly through the PP, but you could stack the even strength lines too. You've got good defensemen to pair, Clefbaum, Nurse on the Edmonton side, and then Weber, Petrie on the Montreal side. I like all of these guys, and so I'll be on both sides of this game. Nurse seems like a good value. Yeah, he has been for a while. Clefbaum up there for me. Clefbaum's going to be up there for me. Weber certainly up there for me at 5,800, as is Petrie, for their respective price tags. And then even Ben Sherratt at 3,900. I'm probably going to have some of this guy. He's just playing big minutes still. Just give me the guys who are playing minutes. And he's also helpful in that no one's ever going to play him, even for 3,900. So as far as like duplicate lineups, he helps me for that. Boom's late. All right, Boom's here, though. Boom's here to the party. Montreal 1, I think, is an elite line. I will play them wherever. They're way too cheap. Even if they don't pop on projections, I will be forcing them in no matter what. Lot to like in this game, I think. I'm hoping it's 7-6, but based on last night, if things go... Well, I guess Pittsburgh wasn't even bad. I'm not even going to say they were bad. They weren't. They got a goal. I think they had 20 points each. So it was just 4-1, completely nuked the slate, and then Washington 1 was better than them. So it wasn't going to happen. But you guys, we'll get to Pittsburgh 1. Don't you worry. Let's go to the Blackhawks and Avs. 2.5 implied total for the Hawks. 3.6 for the Avs. Robin Lehner and net expected to go after his big performance in Winnipeg. Would assume they give him another chance here to try to steal one. Grubauer confirmed for the Avs. How chalky will Colorado 1 be tonight? I don't know. I don't really know that it matters. Wait, Crawford's going. Crawford's playing. Good God. Oh, okay. I just saw this on Twitter. So, if you thought it was a good spot, okay, Leonard's better than Crawford, I think. Well, not I think. He's been better. Leonard's been insane. And, it's like this thing where if he's going to see a ton of shots, he gets locked in and you can't score on him like against Winnipeg the other game. So Crawford's in the starter's crease. I shouldn't say he's confirmed, but it looks like he's going. And that is just a mental upgrade for me. Letty and Pulak getting apples on the morning slate. Yeah, too bad I didn't play. So Colorado 1, I think they're the best play on the night, right? Like they're going to project number 1 or number 2, depending on where you're at on Boston 1. Fine price for them. They're going to run over. You would think they're going to run over any of the Chicago lines. I think they run over the Taves line more often than not, and the Strome-Kane line continues to be my my kryptonite. I can never get them right, mostly because I'm never on them. So maybe I only remember the times that that they burn me every couple times, but not really crazy about anything on Chicago here. I love Colorado 1, but everybody does, so they're not that interesting to talk about. Yeah, I saw Makar skated this morning. Boom saying in chat, and if he plays, then Makar might be my number 1 guy for defenseman. What's Makar at, actually? I haven't looked at his price, but just knowing how he's going to grade out, I think that he's going to be up there for me if he does indeed go. Hopefully it's not a game time decision, because then this is one of the later games. There's probably not a lot of great swaps. What's Makar at? Is he 5'5"? Boom. Actually, I've got FC pulled up over here. Let me check this out. FC's moving slow on me. Probably because I've got a million tabs open, but the stream has not died yet. He is at 5,200. Wow, okay. He's at 52. He's not playing? Okay. Well, maybe I'm just getting excited for no reason. It doesn't matter. If he plays, he's going to be in a ton of my lineups. If he doesn't, obviously he's not going to be in my lineups. Yeah, he was in the non-contact, so who knows? Probably not playing. But just be aware. Colorado is a team you should be considering power play stacks with, mixing in Kadri instead of one of McKinnon or not McKinnon. Don't take out McKinnon of your power play stacks instead of Rantanen or Landeskog. I think is certainly a way to differentiate. You can Josh stack this. I know people might look at the last time Colorado played and just see how thoroughly the Avs dominated the Hawks. And I think it was a Saturday game, maybe 3-4 weeks ago. So maybe people just expect that again. Colorado should be one of the most popular stacks. I can't argue with anything. Like, this spot looks about as good as possible. And so I guess the thing you got to figure out is, what are you going to do with Girard? For me, I'm going to come in well under the field on Girard, assuming he's like 15, 20%. If he's not there, maybe I get to double digits of him, but he doesn't grade out that well outside of power play stacking. And if everybody's going to take him, and maybe he gets an assist and he scores 10 DK points, sure, but is it really worth it with the ownership if you're stacking Colorado 1? I don't know. I don't know if it is. Okay. Cole and Eric Johnson, I think, are both fine plays if you're looking to swap off of Girard. Nothing really for me on the Hawks. They could burn me. I'm okay with it. I am. For whatever reason, I can rarely get to them. And this looks like a spot where they're going to get dominated once again. They stink on the road. Penguins, Canucks, 2.9 implied total for the Pens, 3 for the Canucks. Matt Murray expected to go against Jacob Markstrom. Pitt 1 was solid last night. They were not bad. They were not slate breaking, but they just continued to do their thing. Would expect no difference here. What did I say? It was Horvat, Eriksson in for Levo on the top line, I think is the tweet I read. And so that doesn't change anything for me. It probably makes Vancouver 1 even softer. Vancouver 2, Pettersson line, and the Malkin line are my targets here. In fact, I like both of them a ton. And it's not if the ownership is in the ballpark of where I'm at in my head. Vancouver 2 is a little bit too cheap for a lot of people. They were a little bit popular against Vegas. Pittsburgh is not a great matchup. They haven't done anything to really warrant being targeted against a ton. But I think Vancouver 2 is one of the best lines as well. And so back-to-back against Pittsburgh, I'm talking myself into them. Full power play correlation, all that good stuff. Hughes is 4,600. And they've shown that they can go up against top lines. Now, the McDavid line did pretty well against Pitt 1 last night in terms of generating shots and scoring chances and all that. And I think the Pettersson line is better as a unit. Brock, EP, JT. And so I'm all over them. And of course, I'm all over Pitt 1 once again. I keep thinking there's going to be something I see every game. I keep thinking, how does this line continue to get 12 shots and, 5 high danger chances every game? And they just keep doing it. And so give me the volume of lines that are going to create scoring chances and high danger chances, and I will continue to play them regardless of their ownership, somewhat regardless of their price. They look a little bit priced up compared to some of these other lines too, so I like that. Yeah. Pitt 1. Maybe people are sour on them. I don't know why you would be after last night. They did perfectly fine. But I think Pitt 1/Pitt power play is the play here. Letang included at 64. One thing. Did Rust play on the top power play last night? That was one thing I was going to check. I'll do this really quickly. I'm sure this is very fun for anybody watching. Let's see here. Nope, clicking on the wrong thing. Pit one. Yeah, he did. Yeah, hell yeah. So, not that that makes a big difference. Rust has been really good this year. Like this doesn't seem to be a fluke. I don't know. And obviously he's in a great situation, so he wouldn't be doing this if he's playing with Teddy Bluger and Dominic Simone. But when he's played, he's been good. And so I have no problem playing him for under 6K. Murray's in goal 6-5 game. I hope so. Man, I really hope so. John Marino and Letang, both guys I would have no problem playing. And I think I'd even throw Marcus Pettersson in as well. So a couple value guys, and then you've got the horse in Letang. I wonder if Edler can play this game. I saw he was skating a few days ago. Make sure you check on Edler if he's going to be back. They should be skating here pretty... Well, they were skating. Okay, it's going to be Leonard for the Hawks. So, conflicting reports on the Hawks. If you're watching this on delay, you should know by the time you're watching this. So, I probably sound pretty dumb going back and forth between Crawford and Leonard, but someone is starting for the Hawks. It's a little bit of an upgrade for Colorado if it's Crawford. Maybe a slight downgrade if it's Leonard. But Leonard can't be amazing every game. You're just not going to stop 50 shots every night. And this is a real bad spot for whoever's in net. But, yeah, I don't even think I can play either one of those guys. Seems really bad. Yeah, Chicago is off on the road. Yes. All right, last game of the night, then we'll get out of here. St. Louis, San Jose, 3.1 implied total for the Blues, 2.9 for the Sharks. Binnington, Martin Jones, expected to go. I have almost nothing that I love in this game. Can usually find something I like. I think the Couture line might grade out okay for some people. Marlowe's back in the top line. I mean, that's terrible. He's 2,500. You could play him if you're full stacking, but just clicking on Marlowe, brutal. So clicking on Thornton also stinks. Maybe you get to some Thornton Hurdle in the bank, but why is Timo Meier not in the top 6? If it was Hurdle, Meier, LeBanc, yeah, give me some of that, but it's not, and this game stinks. I think so. 6 total. It's got a higher total than the game I said I love, the Montreal Edmonton game. I think that one was at 6, but shading towards the under. And so maybe I'm a huge fish here. O'Reilly and Perron have been good lately with Sundqvist. Shen Schwartz, Kyrou, I suppose, but San Jose never really hard matches. There's not a line I love, and always never fun to have no exposure to the last game if you're a multi-entry player, but I'm going to have very, very little. Because I think you might even see Couture and Kane be somewhat popular for those prices. Brent Burns is actually the guy I might have the most of. 5,900 playing on top power play. I'm okay with a little bit of Burns. And then, I'm trying to find anything that grades out okay, and it really doesn't. So, no reason to talk myself into something that I'm not really seeing as a great play. I'm playing 150 lineups, so maybe a couple stacks sneak in. But boy, if I have a lot of exposure to this game, that would be pretty surprising. Because, like I said, I think we might get some ownership on, this line maybe, certainly this line, and then probably the Hurdle LeBanc combo as well, just because of their price. And they're at home, and it's a decent total, and Burns and Carlson are cheap. So, Burns is still in the league. Wow, boom, you're a funny guy. You're a funny guy. All right, so I think that's going to do it. Line changes are free today. Here you go. Yeah, I went over the CBJ game. It was basically the only thing I liked there or loved there is CBJ 1. Fast Eddie Fears rankings. Free today. And then shout out to Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports. Thank you for sponsoring us. Go play some NFL tomorrow there. If you missed out today, don't worry. They've got it tomorrow. And some big contests, 175K baller, 10.3%. Management fee, that is much, much lower than what you're going to find over on FanDuel and DraftKings. So go support Yahoo. They support us. Promo code AWESOMO is how you get up to $30 in Yahoo Sports rewards points. 1% Hattie. All right, we don't have ownership projections yet, but and 1% is always tough. How about Brian Rust? Brian Rust. Goalie? Yeah, sure. We can go through goalie. Guys that I'm getting the most of. The guys I'm getting the most of for goalie are Grubauer, Hutchinson, Korpisalo, and Price, and Mrazek. So there you go. Those are all the guys I had over 10% in my crunch. If you look at my exposures on Line of Study, rarely will I get to a goalie that's more than at 20% on a big slate. Usually it's around 15. So, okay. Thanks for watching, everybody. Go enjoy some NFL. We will see you back on Monday. Hit me up in Slack if you got any questions. And keep an eye out for late news. I'll be in Slack. I'll be around for the most part. And enjoy your holidays. Actually, I will not be back on Monday. It'll be Nolan and Cliffy. I got a family situation going on there. Family tradition, I should say, not a situation. And so I'll be out for Monday. And then Tuesday is Christmas Eve, if I have this correct. Wednesday, Christmas Day. So NHL will be off. I'll be probably in Slack at some point, degenning some NFL. But won't be doing any NHL over the break because there's nothing really to do. But good luck, and thanks for watching. Hit the like button on the way out if you could. That would really help us out. And enjoy Nolan and Cliffy on Monday. They'll have a really nice show. So good luck, guys.